Welcome to Matters of the Heart podcast with Rashonda, Thursday's Tip Edition. Do you need some advice? Need some ideas to improve a specific situation, whether in the world around you or just an individual fix? Well, that's what Thursday's Tip is all about. I don't just tell you how to do it, but I'll always offer a couple of tips on things you can do to succeed in the process. Thursday's tips are geared towards making us feel empowered, starting from the inside out. So, what are you waiting for? Come on in and let me share a couple of tips with you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Thursday's Tip episode. You're listening to the Matters of the Heart podcast with Rashonda. I talk about inspiration, motivation, wellness, and mind peacefulness on this platform. I share experiences, advice, and knowledge to help you and me. Okay, I'm learning every day. Improve our life and learn more. And the content is always 100% positive. You can guarantee that. Or I'll give you your money back, okay? There are only positive vibes happening over here, all right? And since we're speaking of positive vibes, you know, this is the time of year when everything isn't so optimistic or positive. It's something about the holidays that turns people into modern day Scrooges. Now, I love the holidays, especially Christmas, because everyone seems so forgiving and friendly. And I wish we as a country and nation would have this sentiment all year round instead of one season or day out of the year. But you know what? That doesn't mean we have to conform. Have you ever heard the saying, be the change you want to see in the world? So in speaking of change, maybe if we change our emotions and attitudes, others will too. However, today we're going to talk about some things that can get our emotions some serious jail time, if not controlled. So today's topic is jail time emotions gone wrong. Tips to release the cuffs. Jail time emotions gone wrong. Tips to release the cuffs, okay? So our emotions can kind of go rogue like that pizza of mine that I was talking about the other week here. Are your emotions on a roller coaster ride to jail as we speak? If your emotions have put you in jail or in an awkward position, do you need some bond money to get them out? I have a few tips today that will hopefully help, especially since we're officially in the holiday season. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. Life has a way of dealing every one of us our fair share of lemons, which result in disappointments, stress, anxiety, loss of self, and sometimes loss of mind. Depending on the situation, that roller coaster ride of ups and downs can negatively affect our emotions. I've had my share of emotional roller coaster rides, whether brought on by life's lemons or my own emotional breakdowns. Believe it or not, I used to be the type of person that blamed others for my issues and shortcomings. I would quickly dismiss someone in a minute, honey. Sometimes it don't even take a minute, it's a second, without even thinking about it. If I got angry, I had a way of responding to people in the most dreadful and hurtful tones there ever was on the face of the earth. Instead of thinking about what I would say first, I just start going off like, cut you off, I'm done, forget you, and your mama too, okay? I wanted people to hurt worse than they hurt me, and I didn't care how it made them feel until one day it did. I realized my emotions were not only dangerous, but if I didn't get them under control, listen, I was not only going to wreck others, but myself in the process. You see, I had a lot of broken pieces within me that stemmed from many issues such as daddy issues, childhood traumas, personal relationship dramas and woes. So to say my emotions put me in jail is an understatement. In most cases, it had me in my own prison cell. However, I try to hide those feelings by being overly friendly to people until they said something wrong, whether directly or indirectly. You know, our emotions can take a severe toll on us. They can control the way we think, how we act, how we respond, and ultimately how we talk to others. Our emotions can destroy the most trusting relationships and isolate our every move, eventually holding us hostage within the jail of our minds. But there's hope, as emotions are just negative feelings that can be controlled. Listen to that. They can be controlled. Emotions can be controlled. So if you're finding yourself caged by emotions, the following tips that I'm gonna say after the short break will help you, or hopefully help you, get out of your own jail of emotions and move towards a life of freedom. So stay tuned. Okay, tip number 1, talk to a trusted friend, pastor, or counselor. I wanted to talk about these 3 because talking to a trusted friend is the first step. And depending on how light or severe your emotional ride may be, it's best to let someone you trust know you have an issue controlling your emotions. A good friend will hold you responsible for your actions by telling you the truth and not sugarcoating or sweeping your problem under the rug, okay? You don't need one of those friends to be like, girl, you was right. Girl, that's what you should have did. Man, if I were you, hey, you did the right thing. Come on. Okay. So let's stop because they're not giving you the right information. They're putting salt and gasoline on that temper or on that emotion, and it's going to just get completely out of control. So we need friends that's not going to sugarcoat us. We need friends that's going to let us know, hey girl, you was wrong. Hey my dude, look, that wasn't right. You know, and whatever. And you might be mad at them for the time being, but trust me, once you really settle down and really think about it, you'll be glad that they told you the truth, okay? A pastor is a good source as they can give you sound spiritual advice regarding your issue and also serve as a trusted confidant. If your problems are incredibly severe, a counselor can help you identify the emotional triggers. So a lot of times we get into these emotional tirades because something that someone said triggered us. So remember earlier when I was talking about I had all these issues, daddy, childhood, personal relationships and stuff, I would go off because they would say things that would trigger something that maybe happened years ago, okay, that I hadn't dealt with. And so it will make me go off and act a fool. So talking to a counselor, they can help identify those emotional triggers and they can offer you some medical alternatives if it comes to that. Tip number 2, assumptions. Watch out. So again, remember those roller coaster rides of emotions I was telling you about myself earlier? Daddy, drama, childhood stuff. Yeah, most of those were also caused by assumptions. Things I thought people were saying about me, like literally blew it not only out of the water, but out of control. The stage or production site is set, cameras are ready, and you only need actors or actresses to play the role. Assumptions are created from insecurity and brokenness. Have you ever entered a room and felt like all eyes were on you, like everybody was talking about you? Most of the issues we have are mental, meaning it's things that we have set up in our minds already based on our own inner emotions. This was me with church folks. Like, I already had my emotional ride revved up and ready to go before I even walked through the doors on Sunday. And I'd make sure to leave before some of them could say, how you doing? In my mind, they were the enemy. Preconceived ideals I had created about them that they had no recollection that they were even partakers of. It was my assumption. And guess what? We all know what they say about that, right? Stay tuned. Okay, tip number 3, act but don't react. act, but don't react. As stated, bad news will come, and it's a natural part of life. But just because a lousy emotion knocks at your door doesn't mean you have to open it. I remember long ago, someone had told me this particular individual was talking about me. And the person that was telling me the information, they weren't wrong in what they were saying. It wasn't gossip or hearsay. It was very accurate. But while this other person was discussing my business with others, it bothered me. And I remember getting mad and calling the person and going slam off on them. While on the phone with them, I remember not giving them room to explain themselves because I was talking over them. Come to find out, that was the wrong move. They were already emotional because one of their best friends had died, and I acted entirely out of character while listening to them cry. They were literally crying on the phone. They was going through a hard time, and then I'm calling them, going all upside their head over some stuff that was true. But I didn't care because I said what I said. You are in control of your emotions, and that shouldn't control how you react to altering situations. Okay? Even the Bible tells us that act but don't react. Now, somebody could bring you some information, and yeah, it can make you feel some type of way, but it becomes something else. It becomes a sin when you start going off, you going slashing people tires, you cursing people out, you fighting people, punching people in the face like that. Then that's done gone too far. Okay, you done totally took that action and reacted on it. Okay, but there are some things that people say now, it bothers me. But I take it to the Lord in prayer, okay? Because I ain't got time to react because it's going to look more badder on me than it is on them, okay? Especially with the position that I have. It's like, no, I can't afford to do that, But, it makes me feel some type of way. But like I said, I go straight to God and I'm like, okay, I need to talk to you about something. A lot of times I'm in tears when I go to God and I'm talking to him about things because it hurts. It hurts when people say things about you that's not true. It hurts when people hurt you and you doing nothing but, try to love them, or somebody bringing up something from your past or, those things hurt. But there's a time and a place of how to deal with those emotions. And that's why I said prayer, because it really does help. It helps you to calm down and it helps you to really come to your senses, right? But anyway, the next tip is don't take it personal. Now, those 4 words changed my life one year when I had a meltdown over a couple of issues involving other people's attitudes. Most of the time, our emotions are caught up by things that aren't really what they seem. You're not the only one having a bad day. Consider that someone else may be having a bad day too. Their attitude may not necessarily be directed at you, but at a situation they may be experiencing themselves during the time. So being a little more compassionate and looking outside the box can spare you from looking crazy or thinking something that isn't. Last tip, channel the negative emotion elsewhere. Helping others is an excellent way to push the focus off you and onto someone who just may be suffering in silence. This sometimes is easier said than done, and it's not easy focusing on other things when your emotions are all over the place. Still, it does help to channel that energy into something else, such as exercising, talking to a friend, meditating, and journaling, watching a movie, or relaxing at places such as the beach. It also helps to channel that energy into others that may need some help or assistance. Sometimes we can be so focused on our issues, our family, our lives, and our drama that we forget that there are people who are suffering and could use a little help. Start a fundraiser, donation drive, or help out at the shelter. This is a good time of year to do so. However, I don't believe it takes a holiday or season to do anything. If this season teaches us anything, someone else can always use a little more love, even if that means listening to them for a change. Just because life deals you sour lemons doesn't mean you have to make bad lemonade. We have the power to make the best of everything that life brings our way, including how our emotions choose to handle it. Feelings are like waves. You cannot stop them from coming, but you can decide which ones to surf. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Remember, there's a new podcast episode every first Sunday, which is #Sunday's Thoughts or Sunday Word. There's also a Thursday's Tip podcast episode every second Thursday of the month. So if you like episodes such as this one, make sure you listen and subscribe. It is free, my people. And whatever platform you're listening on will let you know when there's a new episode. Whatever works for you, works for me. Okay? And a very happy early Thanksgiving to you and yours because I won't be on no more until next month. While we should be thankful each day of the year, I pray you and your family have a peaceful holiday. Love more, fight less, thank more, stress less. Look around. There's so much to be thankful for, even when it doesn't look like it. The little things really do matter the most. So take care, and I'll see you again soon. That was it for today's episode. I hope you were inspired and feel positive vibes whenever you spend some time with me, Rashonda, and the Matters of the Heart podcast. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to join me next time as we dive deeper into our spiritual, mental, and physical journey. You can follow Matters of the Heart podcast on Facebook to stay tuned for what's coming next. Feel free to share the episodes while you're here. Also, stay with me by subscribing wherever your favorite music and podcast stations reside. And as always, watch your heart because its actions will follow. Thank you for listening.